that everybody can hear me and they can see me and all that amazing stuff. Thanks, Andrew from Germany, from Frankfurt. Thanks for coming in. Ciao, Tio from Italy, right? Love Rome. Beautiful city. Can't wait to go back. I think I'm going to go back next summer, maybe. Hopefully. My 40th birthday. I want to go to Italy and a few other places around the Mediterranean. So that'll be really fun. Hopefully we'll do that. I don't know. My wife wants to go to Brazil, visit home. My wife's from Brazil. So we'll see. Mark, thanks for coming. Mr. Cole, man, a lot of the regulars. Gunter, Mr. Snow Leo, Apple Snow Leo. You still on Snow Leopard? I hope not. Right. It was a great operating system at the time, though, right? So, cool. Gaston, Mr. Powers, thanks for coming. Just a couple thumbs up. Everyone good? Berlin, London. Oh, Lisbon. Sorry, Lisbon. Never been to Lisbon. My wife's been to Lisbon. I haven't. She took that trip when we were living in London. She went to Lisbon and without me to go visit her sister who was living there at the time. Obviously, you guys can hear me because you've been acknowledging me. So sweet. Today we are going to be talking about Font Awesome. And what's awesome about today's talk is that it was requested right here in the chat. So that just means, guys, let me know what you want me to talk about. Happy to do it. I think this is a great subject because I know a lot of people ask it. And man, I've been dragging my heels in making an official announcement in support for Font Awesome 5. So today what we're going to do is we're going to go over everything, right? We're going to go over what's Font Awesome 4, what's Font Awesome 5, what's the difference, how you can use Font Awesome 5 now, and how will we be able to use it in the future. So pretty exciting stuff. So you guys are probably aware, right? Font Awesome, right? fontawesome.com. And we've had Font Awesome 4 support for a very long time, since Stacks 2. I don't know, long time, right? And Foundation has always had, so that means at least 5 years, because Foundation shipped 5 years ago, and Font Awesome was supported from day one, built into Foundation. So yeah, so you can add these little like code snippets to your page and you get cool icons, right? And if you have my Font Awesome stack, it makes it a little bit easier, right? So let's jump in and start digging into Font Awesome 4 a little bit, and then we'll show you Font Awesome 5. Really quick into Font Awesome 4, because I know we really want to talk about 5, but just so that people are aware of what Font Awesome is, and how things are now versus where we're going to go in the future with version 5. Okay. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Oops, not that one. We want that. And boom. Okay. Actually, here, let me go ahead and I want a little bit more screen real estate for you guys. I'm just gonna crop this on the right just a little bit more. Okay, there we go. Get a little bit more screen real estate. We care about more of the Font Awesome stuff. Oops, over there, right? That stuff than me. So, okay. Someone's done these messages here. So, let's go ahead and let's open up Safari. And here is the Safari window. We're going to go to, now if you go to fontawesome.com, right, it'll take you to, boom, it'll take you to version 5, right, the website. So if you want to use Font Awesome right now and use like the icon support, you're going to have to go to fontawesome.com. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, you'll see the old version 4.7. So if we click on that, this is the version that Stacks supports natively. Most stacks out there are going to support Font Awesome 4 when they say they support Font Awesome, right? This is ingrained in so many things nowadays, right? It's when 5 released and 5 is so different, it's really hard to remove version 4 support, right? So it is a very tricky thing. So let's just review 4 really quick. If we go, where's the icons? Up here. I think there's like 700 icons or something like that. So there's still a ton of icons right inside inside here, and we can access all of these bad boys. So let's just say, for example, I'm just going to pick one at random. Here's address card. Okay, so let me bring up RapidWeaver really quick. So here's RapidWeaver, and if I just go ahead and put an HTML stack in here, you can copy this little code snippet that's on the page. Oops, come on. Copy. I go to RapidWeaver. I can paste that in, and voila, we have an address card, right? We preview that in the browser. We see we have an address card, super small address card, right? But we can, there's little classes and stuff that you can modify that does like FA-5X, I think it is, right? Yeah, 5X, right? So, and obviously you can put that wherever you want, right? But you know, that's kind of hard because it's code, and like, well, how do I change the color now? And how do I do this? And how do I do that? Right. So, that's why, a long time ago, and it was actually, hopefully you got it. It was on sale a couple weeks ago as my deal of the week. And I know a lot of you probably picked it up then. I have a stack called Font Awesome, and, it allows you to simply, put in the icon name here. So like, here I used, the address one, right? So it's FA-address card. So I would just put, oops, let me delete this HTML stack here. We don't need that no more. So here I would put in, you'd put it in your thing, and then you can say whether, you know, your size. Do you want it, you know, 5x, or do you want it custom size? You can define the number of pixels. You can align it left, right, center. You can float it. You can add a link to it. You can change the color, right? So it's just very convenient thing to do, right? So if you wanted it blue or orange or red, whatever color you wanted, right? So that's really cool. Now, what are the benefits of using a Font Awesome icon versus like an image? Well, essentially what happens is with version 4 is how version 4 worked is it loaded all of these as a font, right? So it was kind of a hack, right? It was basically using a font to display an image. Like, obviously they're not rich images, right? They're scalable, right? So that was the benefit of using a font, is because with a font, you can scale a font as big as you want and you don't lose clarity, right? This icon is going to be clear whether or not it's 32 pixels or 20 pixels, or whether you make it 200 pixels, right? So it makes it very nice for, you know, retina displays, any display. It just makes the icon really crisp. And there are some other tricks that we can do because it's a font. And obviously, because it's a font, the entire font file gets loaded and it can get cached. And then you can use it on all of your web pages, and effectively with zero weight. Okay. However, on the flip side of that coin is it loads a font file, it downloads a font file that contains every icon. And your chances are you're not using every icon, right? So you take a little bit of hit on the first page load because it does get cached, right? So there are some drawbacks with using Font Awesome. And as of right now, like in Foundation, whether or not you're using it or not, and a lot of other themes and a lot of other stacks, they don't even give you a choice. Unfortunately, Font Awesome gets loaded on your page regardless. So you can use them all you want in Foundation, and you'll take a 0 performance hit because it's getting loaded anyway. So it is useful. It is powerful. Okay. And also make sure that you throw any questions in the chat room while we're chatting here, and I'll make sure that I talk about those. So that pretty much does it with Font Awesome 4, right? I don't want to dwell on that too much because we really want to talk about the new stuff. But, you know, the Font Awesome stack is cool. Sadly, there won't be a Font Awesome stack for version 5. For some legal reasons, I can't physically ship a product called Font Awesome with version 5. They've changed the licensing and whatnot, but we got some good stuff there as well. So I was getting a little ahead of myself there. Let's talk now about Font Awesome 5. So Font Awesome 4 is cool again, and you have access to tons and tons and tons of icons I think there's like 700 icons here. And again, you can use those all you want in Foundation, and most other themes support it. Okay. Or a stack can load it. If you use the Font Awesome stack, that will load it on the page, no matter if your theme supports it or not. So that's nice. Okay. Let's head back to version 5. So version 5 shipped in 2017, I think. I think it was 2017. I was an early backer. I backed it in late 2016. So, yeah, that they shipped in 2017. It's currently on version 5.10.1. So they've shipped all kinds of updates, and they have a gazillion icons, right? So, I think there's like 7,000 icons now in Font Awesome 5. Now, because there's so many icons, right? They had to change how things work, right? Because you can't really load 7,000 icons, download it in a file, and not have a performance hit. I mean, that's a lot of icons to load, like a buttload, right? And they're a little bit more complex than version 4 icons. They're a little bit nicer, as you see. Just in the last few weeks, they've actually added Duotone support, right? So, like if we look at the address card, which we were looking at version 4, we have the address card in a couple different weights, in a solid and in a transparent form, as well as this duotone form, right? So you can kind of like style and change the colors a little bit differently. I have to admit, I haven't played around with the duotone stuff at all yet. So maybe if we have time at the end, I can kind of play around with that a little bit. But in terms of customizing the colors, I'm going to be doing that live in terms of learning how they want us to do that. So, I knew it existed, but I just hadn't had time to play around with it yet. Sorry, but we'll try to play around with that today. I'm sure I can figure that out pretty simply. Okay. So version 5 is different. 7,000 icons. I can't just load 7,000 icons on the page and then you add a little snippet to the page. Now, if you notice, let's click on one of these. Let's click on address card. Okay. Obviously the web page is a whole lot nicer, right? And here's the snippet up top, right? Okay. And if you're familiar with the Font Awesome icon syntax, it's different. Okay. And it's different so that you can clearly see if something is Font Awesome 4 or Font Awesome 5. The main difference here is if you can see that at all. Here, let me copy this. Let me open up a code editor. Okay, just create a new one. Don't need that. Oops, it worked. Okay. Let me make that bigger. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see that. That's a little bit easier. And there, I think I still have on my clipboard the old one. Cool. Let's take off the already hidden stuff. We don't need that right now. Okay, so the top one is FA5, right? And 5. And the bottom one is Font Awesome 4. Oh wow, look at that. I'm gonna do that. Okay. So if you notice, it's very, very similar. The main difference here is this class here. So Font Awesome 4 has a class called FA, and that FA class is on everything. Okay. Font Awesome 5 changed it, right? So instead of FA, there's FAS, there's FAL, depending on the icon and how it's categorized, this class is different. So if you ever got a code snippet and you're seeing that it's something different than FA, it's FA and then some other character, that's a Font Awesome 5 icon. And that will not work. I have many people that are trying to put in Font Awesome 5 icon snippets inside Foundation. Doesn't work. Okay. And a lot of times the name for the icon, if it was an icon that also existed in Font Awesome 4, it's going to be the same. So that was kind of nice. But obviously there's a lot more icons in Font Awesome 5 that don't even exist in version 4. Okay. So that code snippet is a little bit different. Okay. So if we notice here, there's also, you can do solid, regular, light, pro, and the duotone, right? Okay. Now, let me bring some good news. Okay. What's really cool is when I purchased support for Font Awesome 5, I did something really cool for you guys. And we're close to you guys being able to capitalize on that. And that is, I purchased a license for Font Awesome 5 that you can't even get anymore. Okay. And what that is when I ship Foundation 6, okay, newsflash, if you didn't read This Week in Weaver Space, Foundation 2 will be named actually Foundation 6. And I'm just going to align my version numbers with the version of the framework. So I've been working hard. I've been working a lot harder on that than anything else recently. So over the weekend, I worked about 15, 16 hours over the weekend on the new grid system and getting the column set and all that jazz. Okay. Not going to go down the Foundation rabbit hole right now. But what's really cool is I have a special license for Foundation 6. And the sound is no longer synced. I'm trying to maybe refresh the page or something like that. Sorry. Maybe try to restart the feed.